For example, this is a block, this is a block. And usually in one block, you will have several trials. For example, trial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In each trial, you will present several stimulus. For example, in a trial at the beginning, you want to present a fixation mark. And then in the second frame, you will present a blank, just presenting nothing. And then you will present a stimulus. So these are called frame. So basically, one block have several trials, and then in each trial, you have different frame. In your item 9, you are gonna write each of these trial and each of these frame yourself. So for example, let's take a look at these two lines. And you can see a slash here, and this symbol for this slash, it marks the end of a frame. So you use slash to separate this frame. Between these frame, you want a slash to separate it. So for example, here you see a slash. So this one is a frame that presents double plus. And then this one is another frame that presents a red onion, like here. So you use the slash to separate your frame. You say, okay, separating your stimulus. And then, with this symbol, you only see that at the end of an item of your trial. At the end of each trial, you will see this symbol. For example, you see it here. This is the end of the item 12102. And then at the item 12101, you can also see that symbol. So just remember, you use a slash to separate your frame, and use this to mark the end of your item or your trial. And then at the beginning of a trial, you can see a plus or minus sign, right? So for a plus, that means you are expecting a yes response from your subject for that trial. And then if there's a minus, that means you are expecting a negative response from your subjects for that trial. So it really depends. If you are looking for a yes/no question type, yes/no type of answer from your subjects, then you will have to manipulate these plus or minus sign. But if you are not expecting such a yes or no answer, then you can just put all plus or all minus. That will be fine. And then for numbering, so basically you can see there is 12101 or 12102. This is just your trial ID that you decide it yourself. But this is really important when you are doing your own experiment. Remember to design your numbering wisely. You better assign meaning to each of these numbers. For example, in 12101, for me, the last two digits is actually the number, the picture name, the picture file name, I would say. And then for the first three digits, they represent different conditions. So in this way, when you get your data at the end of the experiment, you can sort your data into different conditions, and then you can do some analysis. But if you don't do this numbering correctly at the beginning, it will be very difficult to sort your data after you have finished collecting your data. You can see in a item 9, I write a word carrot in one of the frame, right? So basically, if you type a word here like this, you are telling the program to present a word exactly what is typed here. So if you type carrot in this frame in capitalized letter, then when that trial and this frame is presented, you will see carrot in capitalized letter. Remember, when you want to present a text in a frame, you just type your text directly with two colon here. And also you can see a asterisk in this frame, right? So this is a clock on signal. That means you are asking the program that when the word carrot start to show up, you will record the reaction time of your subject. So you can see not every frame will have an asterisk because you usually only present a target for one of the frame usually. Remember to put your clock on your asterisk correctly. You can use this command or this item to specify how long you want to present that frame. If you still remember, when you were at the header line, there's something called frame duration, right? FD. That is for general properties. But if in your item lines during each frame, you can still individualize how long you want to present the specific frame. So, for example, you want to present onion, for example, for only 300 milliseconds, then you type ms percentage and then 300. This one again is in millisecond, not text, millisecond. And then if you type ms percent 200, that means you want to present this frame for 200 milliseconds. And you may note that for this frame, there is no word written between two colons, right? So that means it is a blank. When you look at these two sentences, there is a 0 at the beginning, right? So for a 0, that means you are telling the program to display the following text on screen and pause the program. So usually you will use 0 to construct your goodbye message or your instruction. So for example, after 0, you can type between two colons your instruction of the experiment, and then the program will just hold there until your subject press some key or make some response. So usually you use 0 for instruction, for goodbye message, and also for a rest period. Because usually in an experiment you will have several blocks, right? You may finish the first block, and then you want the subject to take a rest. Then you can show a message here, writing like, oh, you may take a rest after a 0. So anyway, you use 0 and type the text after to display a text for a pause. DMDs also support randomization of your trial as well as your block. And to randomize your trials, you will use these two functions, n and also s. So when you type n and also s with the corresponding number, you are instructing the program to randomize your trial. And n actually means the number of your trials. So I read it here. N is number of trials, and s is how many blocks you want to divide those items into. So let's say you have 16 trials in your experiment, and you want to divide it into 4 blocks for randomization. Then you will write n16 and s4. By the way, you have to remember the number of n should be able to be divided by s. You know what I mean? So if your n is 16, s cannot be 5. How about if I have got something that I don't want to randomize, but I only randomize my trials? So for example, you want to randomize your trial, but you don't want to randomize your instruction, right? You only want to try to randomize, right? So how can I ask the subject not to randomize certain things? You use this $sign. So anything between two $sign will not be randomized. So for example, you can see the instruction here, and also the practice over instruction here. That means these two sentences will not be randomized. And then for these trials, because they are not between two $sign, they will be randomized. And then again, finally, here, this sentence at the end will not be randomized. So anyway, any lines between the $sign will not be randomized. Okay, now I will show you what that means by n and x. So here we have 16 trials in the same block. Okay, 16 trials in a block. And so you must write n16 because you have 16 trials. And then if you write s equal to 4, that means the program will divide your 16 trial into 4 blocks when they are making the randomization. And then these 4 blocks will first be randomized. And then within each block there are 4 trials, right? They will further perform intra-block trial. So those 4 trials in a block will be randomized, each of them one by one. In DMDS, it will first divide your trials into several blocks and then randomize each trial in those blocks. And it's up to you. You can actually write s equal to 1. So if you write s1, then it will not divide into any blocks. It will only like all 16 trials in one block for intra-block randomization. So it depends on your experimental purpose. Because, for example, some people might want some trials always stick together. Then you can use the s function. But if you don't want those trials to always stick together, you can just write s equal to 1. Yeah, I just want to let you know that how you can present a picture stimulus. And basically, you just need to write this function before the file name. For example, you want to present a BMP file which is named onion. Then you write BMP, this command. And then after that, 2:, and between the colon, you will write the picture file name. So that means you are telling the software to present in this frame a picture called onion for 300 milliseconds. So just remember, you use BMP command for presenting a picture. You can also present some audio stimulus. And this time you use this command, wave2, W-A-V, and then 2. So that means you are telling the program to play a wave format file, and with the name of the wave file between the 2 columns. So basically, I think up to this point, you know that you will have to individualize each of your trial lines one by one, because you have different pictures with different picture name or different audio name. You have to type all of these into your command line. That will take you some time. And when you want to use a mic for your subject to make a response, remember you want to set up the microphone sensitivity for each of the subjects before they start the experiment. Because for some subjects, they may speak louder. For some subjects, they may speak really soft. So you have to regulate the sensitivity of the mic one by one. And then I will show you here how to regulate that. When you go to your DMDS, when you click here, File, on the top corner, you can see test votes here, right? So that means you are testing for the microphone. And then when you click test votes, you will see something like this. So basically, you want to move this. You scroll this left or right to adjust the sensitivity of your mic. So whenever you move, you scroll it to the right, that means you are making the mic less sensitive. And when you scroll it to the left, you are making it more sensitive. So you want to test with your subjects. For example, you can ask him or her to say something, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and then see whether there will be a trigger show up. You can see here when I say 1, 2, 3, 4, they all have a trigger, right? So that means when they speak 1, 2, 3, 4, the program can record a response. But if you make it too insensitive, like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's always no trigger. So you have to regulate adjust this one by one, depending on your subjects. So the best is when the subject speak normally and they can still reach a trigger, then this is the sweet spot that you wanna find. And then you remember, after you adjust the microphone sensitivity, you have to click OK to save it. Oh, and one more thing, if you want to use microphone, remember to put ID digital voice. This is telling the program that you will use a mic.